I usually work at night. That's when I'm most creative. And I find that, when the day is complete in a way, that's when my mind opens up for, potential new ideas. Or rather, my body gives my mind permission to kind of act on those ideas that have been floating around in the abyss, in the ether, if you will. What's up, everybody? We are back in the study, and if you are someone that values a creative clock or someone that's tried to optimize their day, then I'm sure you've come across, today's topic of discussion. So in 2016, Cal Newport gifted the professional world with his novel Deep Work: Rules for a Focused Success in a Distracted World. Now, this novel went crazy. It basically details a productivity system that means starting with your most important tasks first thing in the morning, limiting distractions, and essentially going deep, meaning basically you are eliminating the excess and ensuring your most important task has your full attention first thing. And the honest truth is, it's very rigid, but incredibly useful. It's essentially getting the most bang out of your buck and shutting out the noise. Now, in today's world, it's so hard, to stay focused. There are companies out there literally at war for your attention, consistently making screens bigger, easier to use, designed to hold your attention for as long as possible. And, when this book came out, it was necessary, completely necessary. People needed a system to help them refocus. And what we saw and what we're continuing to see today is that, this system is still talked about. It is still being used, and it helps millions every day. Now, of course, this isn't the only avenue for high performance and the only optimization for getting your work done. That's why there's pushback. That's why there's still conversation and discussion on the topic of deep work today. And the book came out, now 9 years ago. Now, in this podcast right here, Eric Hugh, a revered designer, incredibly talented, worked at Nike, worked at Essence, a bunch of places, Mold magazine, one of the people in the creative space that I've looked up to over the years. He detailed his process during his time as a freelancer, and he stated that when he was at his peak, he didn't even look at a screen until 2 p.m. When he managed to find his groove in the day, he would basically engage work once he's had the chance to take on some other tasks like reading, going for walks, getting fresh air, and at that point it gave him a chance to be in his body, and by that time you're in a good mood, you settled into the day, and that's when you engage your work. And of course, this also isn't a new topic. Most of you may know this as a slow morning. Now, where Cal gave us deep work and essentially dedicated his life to hacking productivity, Rachel Schwartzman gave us slowing. And this is a book that I'm extremely excited to get into. It is billed as discovery, wonder, beauty, and creativity through slow living, which I feel is essentially blowing out the concept of slow mornings and adapting that into a way of life. I mean, what more could you want? Thinking about getting up in the morning and diving into a coffee, opening the blinds, letting the light in, and enriching your mind, body, and spirit with a book on slow living. Yeah, I'm down. Now, Rachel runs the Slow Stories podcast, something that, if slow mornings is something you've been wanting to adapt and build into your daily life, this is something that will get you there. Every story is rich with, insights and nuance and relatability that allows you to see the benefits of slow mornings and how that might positively affect your creativity going forward. In an episode of Lori Brown's Pondercast titled Hour of the Wolf, she mentions that it's strange how we spend so much time thinking about how we spend our days, but we let our nights unspool without much direction or intention from us. And, that's so poignant. It's almost as if all of our attention, all of our planning, all of our, ways of working is just drilled into the upfront portion of the day. And then the back half is, in their words, left unspoiled. And, for me, I understand that I'm a night owl, and I understand that when the sun is setting and all of the rigor and the daily tasks are out of the way, that's when my mind opens up for the potential for new ideas, and that's when my creativity really starts to unravel in a good way. Now the question becomes, you have these two great concepts proven to help benefit those that want to plus up their creative process and get the most out of their work and try new things. But which one is right for you? How do you know? And having the chance to try deep work, I know its benefits. Having the chance to wake up and get into a book and take my dog for a walk and then jump into work, there are benefits there as well. I think that in today's day and age, especially post-pandemic, when people think about their waking hours and how they want to spend their time and working productively, we've reached an inflection point where people now understand that flexibility, but also high-performing productivity is the way to go. They want to get their work done, they want to get the most out of their day, and they want to enjoy what they're doing more often than not. So I think having these two very valuable systems at hand and being able to pressure test against others and figure out what works best for you is, essential in, solving some of that millennial angst. Deep work, slow mornings, or slow living, both valid, both have incredible benefits. But I think the takeaway is whether you want to ramp things up or slow things down, it's important to find your individual way of achieving a flow state in how you work and how you want to operate, and work in ways that are unique to you and align most to who you are. In Cal's words, he says, your goal is not to stick to a given schedule at all costs. It's instead to maintain at all times a thoughtful say in what you're doing with your time going forward. And to me, that speaks volumes. It's about being in alignment with, or more in alignment with, who you are and how you work, whether you want to ramp things up with deep work or whether you want to slow things down using Rachel's methods. All of this is experimentation and a way of finding your own creative clock and optimizing your life in the most positive way possible.